Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the main event of the PSGL season, the Race of Champions, the final round of the PSGL season. We're here in Brazil, and I'm joined by Lordy.
Hello.
And also here before the race, we have Connor here to say a few words.
Yeah. Hello everyone, welcome to the premiere event to end the season. The 20 best drivers in PSGL fighting it out to be the Race of Champions champions. So yeah, thanks to Lordy and Alfie for commentating. I was going to do it, but I thought Lordy's been one of our best commentators recently, as has Alfie, so it'd be good to hear them go through the action. Obviously 71 laps of the legendary Interlagos circuit, Lordy, and we're going to have a quick run through the drivers, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to have a quick run for the drivers. Am I going to take it away, or do you want to...
Yeah, go ahead, start.
Well, in the Williams, we've got if I can speak, Louis, also known as Lewis IRLT on this account, with also Casper, obviously the F1 drivers there in the Williams, the worst, so-called worst car, but it's all equal cars tonight. In the Toro Rosso, we have Blizzard and Black Phoenix. In the Racing Point, we have Toxic Tomato, one of the most impressive drivers I've seen thus far and this season in the Racing Point with Jay Carty. In the Red Bull, we've got CC Brain and Luke Green, teammates once again. Even in the Race of Champions, let's see what they can do. We've got in the Renault, we've got Neo, Rapid, and Tejonis. Also in the McLaren, we have Dumlios and Mesclas. Never. I've heard his name, but I've never actually seen it on paper before. Very strange. Then we have in the Alfa Romeo, we have Brandon Glover and SSR Phoenix. In the Mercedes, we have the old man himself flying throne with Powdy, who unfortunately doesn't have an at. Poor old Powdy. In the Ferrari, bringing up the rear, we have Abiodun and AMS, and then last but certainly not least, Callum Anderson, which is your wild card, I believe, Big C, or one of them, with Sven the Men.
Yeah, so a great grid of drivers, and obviously I chose Callum Anderson and Greeny as my wild cards. I went for Callum Anderson because he was banned from PSGL after letting a drive race on his account during the end of F1 2018, but he came back strong, finished fifth in F6, one of the most improved drivers in F6, and a very talented young man. So he starts on pole today, obviously with it being a reverse grid, so good luck to him. And I went for Greeny as well, finishing fourth in F2, also fourth in FP. Greeny, he's been in PSGL since season 17. He's always had decent pace, but it is a results business, and Greeny, more often than not, doesn't get results. But to be fair to him, he had a few podiums, a few good results, so maybe he can finally build on that for next season, and maybe challenge for the FP title, and obviously challenge for the top 3 in F2, Lordy. So yeah, they're my 2 wildcards, and hopefully they do me proud.
Yeah, unfortunately I'm not in a position to give my wild cards. Might be a few different drivers on the grid if it was myself. But no, Greeny, especially watching him throughout F2, has been one of the, prestigious drivers on the grid. He's really put in a shift, especially the second half of the season after Christmas. He just knuckled down and he got a lot of stick. He's one of these drivers that bottles it a lot. He's got the pace in the day but doesn't really show it in the race, but he really knuckled down and really showed what pedigree he has, especially on the racetrack. And to finish fourth in F2 is fabulous for anybody, let alone a driver who's so-called washed up. So yeah, very well done to Luke Green. Not too much to say on Callum. I don't know him personally. I've only seen him drive a couple of times, especially in FP, being on the track, but he's been fairly clean with myself, so no issues from me. What do you think, Alfie?
Well, all the drivers here do deserve to be here, proving themselves in their respective divisions, and the wildcards getting a bit, maybe lucky, some would say, but definitely they do deserve their seats. But it is going to be the best of the best who's going to win tonight. And the reverse grid, obviously, putting the best, or the people who won the best division at the back, and the people who in the lower divisions at the front. It's going to cause some chaos, as it does every single season. But obviously, a 100% race, you can't win it at the first corner, but you can definitely lose it. It's going to be a very interesting one. With no qualifying as well, jump straight into the action. And maybe some rain as well, Brazil. There's different climates in Brazil. It's not a dry or a wet country, it's a moist country.
Yeah, I do agree. The humidity is very high in Brazil. A lot of heat and a lot of moisture in the air in Brazil, as we've seen for a numerous amount of races. 2012 Brazil always sticks in the brain when Nico Hulkenberg was winning. He was doing a fantastic job until he lost mid-corner through turn one, and Lewis clattered into Lewis Hamilton and ended his podium chances, unfortunately. And because he's got no podiums, he's not in F1 today. So, it does bite you in the arse sometimes. We've also had some really, really fantastic PSGL Race of Champion races, because I do believe this isn't the first time we've had it at Brazil.
No, that is correct. At the end of F1 2016, we did the best of, so we had some of the best names like myself, Ali K, Michelangelo and co taken to the track round Brazil, and in fact it was actually Powdy who took the win that day on probably the best race of Champions Good we've ever had. So watch out for the experienced old man, the veteran, the lovely Powdy, so watch out for him.
Yeah, I do agree. Powdy is one of these drivers that keeps on coming back. Whenever he's knocked down, he comes back fighting even stronger. I've had personal what should we say? Lovely presence of Powdy. Oh yeah, encounters on the track with lovely Powdy. We've not seen eye to eye most times, but he is a nice guy on his day, and he is very quick on his day. But as the timer ticks down, it's time, Alfie. So take us through the start of the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Yeah, I'll run you through the grid quickly, as it's all been edited. No qualifying, jump straight into it. So starting pole, we'll have Callum Anderson, who finished 5th in F6. And then joining him on the front row will be Sven the Men, who finished 3rd in F6. Then we have Domlos and Mescalis, who will take the 2nd row. And then to join us, Neon Rapid in 5th and 6th respectively. Then we have the old man himself, Flying Throme in P7. And Jay Carty in P8, the F4 champion. Then Powdy and AMS in 9th and 10th. AMS qualifying through FP, I believe. And then SSR Phoenix and Brandon Glover will be 11th and 12th, really getting into the midfield and going to be in the cluster of the action. Then Abby Oden, our other FP qualifier, will be starting 13th. Then Greeny and CC from F2 will be starting 14th and 15th. And then when we get towards the back of the grid, we'll have Black Phoenix and Toxic Tomato. And then the F1 drivers, the people to watch out for, weaving their way through the grid. It'll be Blizzard in 18th, Casper in 19th, and ILRT Louis, our F1 champion, will round off the grid. And he's got the most work to do out of any of these drivers, but most importantly, Lordy, the skies look blue. There's no rain I can see.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how the blocks are working, whether it's random weather or if the weather is scheduled. Not too sure how the host has set it for today's session, but it is blue skies and sunshine for the start of the Brazilian Grand Prix here on a Sunday night. So some drivers not used to a Sunday night racing. A lot of these drivers are F1 and F2 on a Monday night, normally giving their all and efforts on 8 p.m. on a Monday night, but it is a Sunday, so maybe a bit more relaxed feeling in the camps tonight. I know here in actual England it's a bit wet and windy, so hopefully it doesn't replicate that onto the virtual game. But just going through dark horses, Alfie, I don't know why, I've just got a really strong feeling about Jay Carty this evening. He's been a force to be reckoned with in F4, and he's been one of the standouts of the season. So I'm going to put my money on Jay Carty getting a very respectable season, and also Toxic Tomato. A shout out to my F2 commentary. He's been fantastic.
Yeah, Toxic Tomato has done a great job winning the F2 Championship this season, but if I was to put my money on a dark horse, not an F1 driver, I'm going to go for Abby Oden. He's brilliant in FP. He can whack him in a Toro Rosso, he can still win the race. So 13th, he has got a bit of an advantage over the cars behind, not having to get through as many people. So my money's going to be on Abby Oden if there was to be a dark horse winner. But my favourite, if I was to be boring, I'm going to go for Blizzard. Sensible option.
I think there's the one sensible option. It has to be Louis. It has to be Louis, and like you say, either him or Blizzard are the favourites. The betting odds, the betting men wouldn't be going for these because they'd have the lowest odds possible. These guys have been dominant in so many leagues across the board. It's kind of silly, really. The out-and-out pace is just staggering from these drivers, and obviously you're a very close friend of Louis Welch, and hopefully he does puts on a good show and does very well. But don't rule out Casper as well. I think Casper's definitely up there in that elite league with these drivers like Louis and Blizzard, so I think he'll come strong, especially in the end, latter stages of the race.
Yeah, but another thing you've got to watch out for is, due to there being no qualifying, there's free tyre choice for everyone on the grid. And the interesting pick is Mescalis in P4. It's going to go for a medium. Oh, and as we have Jay Carty, your good feelings come back to haunt him. He's already gone. What a start for him.
The commentator's curse. I'm not too sure the procedure for the Race of Champions, but they are normally very strict and will not restart for any stragglers who have misplaced internet or misplaced priorities, which is such a shame for Jay Carty. But hopefully something will be realised and worked out in the director's booth, so there might be a few fiddlings going on to get him back.
I'm sure they're all, scurrying about now trying to rectify the issue, but I think our attention has to forget Jay Carty's poor internet and go to Callum Anderson, who's going to lead this grid to the start lights. As you can see in the background, Louis Welch. He's going to line up. He's going to be the last one to line. Going to have the spiciest tyres at this start. All drivers looking all right except for the hologram. That is Jay Carty. But the light's going to come on at some point. There's already yellow flags. But here are the lights. So it's Race to Champions time. He's joined back. There's 5 red lights at some point. And it's lights out, and away we go here. Callum Anderson seems to get the better of the start of the front two. Actually, no, Sven the Man is going to dive down the inside, and I think he might have him here. But now Callum Anderson goes deep to the corner. There's a bit of wing damage flying about there. I'm not too sure what's happened. There's a few cars off, but Callum Anderson, most importantly, has kept the lead. I'm not too sure what's happened there at the back. I did just see a lot of confetti at the back. Nobody seems to have really fallen off, so it seems pretty clean. Jay Carty already last, obviously only just got back in his car. There's some battling going on in the midfield between the Ferrari and the Mercedes. That's flying from Green. He's had a brilliant start. Up to 9th already.
Absolutely chaotic start for some of these drivers. Powdy's all the way off the track, so major issues for Powdy straight off the start in the Mercedes. Already falling down to P20. He was the one with the wing damage, and I believe Flying Throne was caught up in the likes of the incidents going through turns 1 and 2, the centre S's, and it's normally called. But yeah, doing the mid part of the lap now, and we're seeing the Williams taking a nice easy pace at the back. Actually, Louis making a move on Casper already, but there's a Toro Rosso really struggling. A Blizzard right in front of him. It's going to compromise Louis. Going through the sweeping left-hander, battling side by side with Casper. Are they going to fit through? Casper's not having any of it. He's going to try and ram that Williams as far up Louis' inside as he can possibly go. But yeah, Louis has to concede the position on traction. So how's it looking further up the field?
There's a move going on for P3T and after John. It's going to go up the inside of Domlos. And I think he might have got him here, but Domlos is going to put his nose there through turn 2, and there's just going to be enough room left for them to not die. And everything does seem pretty clean. Callum Anderson already got nearly a second gap. That's very good for him, but the mid pack is very bunched. All these drivers congealing between 8th and 12th position.
Yeah, the drivers, the teammates getting very close to Brandon Glover and SSR Phoenix. Phoenix had a moment through the centre S's and nearly lost it on them medium compound tyres. People really struggling as he's going to go round the outside. CC Brain going up the inside.
CC Brain has damage.
Move.
Oh, no, that's not good. Abby Oden going to go to the absolute Narnia. He's going to be backwards. That's not good for the German native.
No, German native obviously spinning round all over the place as we see Black Phoenix go up the inside of... Who is that? It's Louis, isn't it? Yeah, it's Louis up the inside of Louis, and Blizzard's now up the inside as well. He's going to have to concede the position to Black Phoenix, unfortunately. No, sorry, not Black Phoenix. Blizzard. You have to concede the position to Blizzard, unfortunately. But Black Phoenix is all over the back of Louis as well. So these F2 and F1 drivers are really having a nice, good old scrap early on in these races. But obviously, tyre difference is paying dividends.
Yeah, Flying Throne under pressure from AMS. I think AMS is going to get him. Where are they? There they are. No, actually, yeah, AMS does actually get him. Toxic Tomato is going to be licking his lips now, looking at that old Flying Throne, who's actually going to try and come back at AMS. There might be 3 wide here into turn 4. And I think AMS ghosted for a second there, but it all seems pretty clean. No moves. Actually, no, Toxic Tomato going up the inside. Brilliant move. Oh, no. He's been T-boned. He's getting swiped along. He's being pushed.
Yeah, absolute commiserations from Toxic Tomato. Just lost it on the curb going up the inside. There was not a lot of room, obviously, with these wide 2019 cars. As we see, Blizzard's been hit in the rear, and Louis had to get out of it as well. And now Black Phoenix, is that Black Phoenix? Yeah, Black Phoenix trying to go all the way round. Sorry, Blizzard trying to go all the way around, and Black Phoenix is spectating all of this. And oh my god, it's commotion already. But look at Luke Green all the way in P5, Alfie, on them soft tyres. This man is on fire.
He is. Where did he start? Let's see. Where did he start? He started 14th, I think. He's up 9 positions already. That is incredible from Luke Green. There's actually a move going on here between Domlos and Swen the Men. No, not quite close enough this time by. In fact, Swen the Men goes a bit deep. That might allow him to open up turn 2, get a better run through turn 3, and maybe set up the move into turn 4. He goes really wide.
Yeah, that's just goes really right. Brandon Glover's actually been squeezed on the long left hand of that Max Verstappen went around the outside in the full wet in 2016. But Blizzard just shoves Brandon Glover off the track and very, bit not dirty, but a bit aggressive from not Abiodun, Blizzard, sorry, as he loses the rear going through turn number 3. So really struggling there in on the medium tyres in that Toro Rosso.
Greeny's not hanging about. He's up in speed 4. Greeny's going for it today. He wants to be the race of champion. Wait, the race of champions champion.
Yeah, the race of champions champion. Couldn't have said it better myself. As Luke Green, Filey's finest in that lovely Red Bull, really fighting away with the likes of Swen the Men. The other thing you've got to consider as well, these drivers aren't used to battling each other, so they don't know the driving styles, they don't know how these people drive, and they don't know the pace difference. And obviously Luke Green's really turning up the heat here in the Brazilian sunshine at Interlagos as he's fighting for a podium position on lap 4. But there's a long way to go. This man's had the best possible start, and Swen the Men's going to have to defend going into turn number 1. Here he goes. He's not going to put up too much of a fight. But
he's absolutely bowled it.
He's bowled it in the house, and it's now a car park at the Centre S's. For that man, Swen the Men, he had it all to play for, and he's just broke up the grass coming into the entry and really cost himself.
Jay Carty's gone as well. He's back on track though, and there's a lot of moves going on. The action's continued.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. The reverse grid rules really brought out some of the pedigree in this grid. We see Casper fighting on the inside. Business is going to do the cut back up this fast right-hander. You normally take it in 4th gear, but you've got to watch the traction on exit. Maybe shift up to 5th just to make sure you've got the revs down so you're not going to rev up them and heat up them rear tyres. But look at this now, AMS really causing a car park. The trolley train here in Brazil is started by none other than AMS, holding up Casper, Blizzard and the likes of Phoenix and, well, both Phoenixes, Black and SSR. Neck and neck.
Some wheel bashing there. Interestingly though, Lordy, Louis has pit. He's already pit. He's 18th, 17 seconds behind 17th. So I'm not sure if he got damage, but that might be his hopes over. The favourite is out.
No, I don't think the favourite is. I think that's very tactical from Louis to get off them tyres and have some clear air. He's got 16 seconds worth of clear air.
AMS.
We know what type of pace that he's got to set. As you say, Casper, AMS and Blizzard, he's not giving it up. This is fantastic from the veteran. Look at him, AMS only in the race of champions due to FP, but it's 3 abreast coming down the back straight now. Blizzard backs out. AMS, is he going to give it up? No, he's going to ram it down the inside, but really does like to plant that Ferrari in places he shouldn't put it. But look at Blizzard, straight round the outside. Is he going to get the move done? AMS is going to squeeze him, but you've got to be respectful of that driver. He's got a lot more pace, but look at AMS, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's going to keep it neck and neck, Alfie.
This is incredible. SSR Phoenix is having an absolute wonderful battle in front of him, getting the best ticket in the house. AMS though, still side by side. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's absolutely mental. I'm lost for words, and I can't really say that every day. I talk more than the Pope. It's ridiculous how much words come out of my mouth. But anyway, let's carry on with this as Blizzard's really going to get a good run coming on to the start-finish straight now. It's very long. You've just got to be careful on that curve on the inside. It can send the car a bit wild, and AMS defending for his absolute life, but he looks like he's lagging all over the place as well. So not really compromising himself. And we've also got an Alfa Romeo looking for a bit of a sniff.
AMS has lagged into Blizzard. There's absolute carnage going on with AMS's internet. He's joining the J Carty gang. But Black Phoenix also trying to make his way through the grid. In fact, the best of the F1 runners is Casper, who's in P8. And now Phoenix going up the inside of AMS. And that move is going to get done easily. He's going to get a little tap though. And there's, this isn't good. I've got a beautiful helicopter shot. They're on top of each other. They're grinding away. But I think everything's starting to calm down a little bit now. But these two still side by side, Black Phoenix and who is it? That's Brandon Glover. Brandon Glover's getting his nose in there.
Yeah, nothing better to do on a Sunday night than a bit of bump and grind like AMS and Blizzard are getting up to there. But let's just go back to the front as well, Alfie, because Callum Anderson is under immense pressure from this man, Filey's finest, Lucas Greenus.
When did Callum Anderson lose the lead? We must have missed that. But to Jonas is now in the lead and streaming away.
Yeah, here he comes though now. Luke Green's going to go up the outside line, which is the favourable line because the centre S obviously starts as a left-hander, but then sweeps into a right-hander as Luke actually squeezes Callum onto the grass, but very aggressive and very necessary, I think, for the likes of Luke Green because he knows he's going to get DRS down this straight, but he might have neutralised the DRS.
The Red Bull pair making absolute moves as he was inside Metaclus for a second there, CC Brain, but here comes Casper. Started P19 and he's already up into P7. Yeah. Oh, not quite though. He needs to get past Metaclus first through the flat left of turn 5, and I think he might have the move done, and he does. So that's Casper up to P7.
Mescler's not an easy customer, as you can see in this. McLaren nearly loses it on traction, just keeping to the... Oh, he's going to go back up the inside. Go on, Mescler, fight for what you're worth. Go on. And as Blitzen nearly drops his own wing as well, trying to scoop up the inside of the McLaren as well. But it's not these drivers
Mescler has hit Casper.
As Mescalis hits Casper, and he's actually going to go round the outside, but did he actually hit? Oh, and Blizzard's hit Mescalis as well. How are these drivers not in the wall? It's a miracle. Mescalis being a cork in the bottle, and as soon as this cork's coming out, there's going to be carnage.
I know. Mescalis giving Casper a light rear end. They're all over the place. Here comes Blizzard. He's going to get in the slipstream of Casper, and I think he should get this move done quite easily unless Mescalis decides to give down the inside, which he does in true Mescalis fashion of what we've seen so far in this race. Through the centre S's, Mescalis just about leaves enough room. Blizzard goes around the outside. Phoenix now right behind Mescalis. The cork is budging, and I think it's about to release itself.
Yeah, just like the Love Island contestant, he's just got a cork in the eye. SSR Phoenix. Oh, he's going to give it back.
No.
That curve,
that is right. Oh my god.
As well. Oh, it's horrendous.
Watch out.
Messerlis getting the dirt out of this race.
There's something. Everyone's slowing down.
Bystander.
What is it? Have we got a safety car or a VSC?
It's a safety car. It's a safety car.
That was some interesting battle in there. The congealment has splooged. It was everywhere, that battle. Everywhere. Mescalis all over the track until eventually he found himself digging his face into the rubber of the tyre wall.
And it's been only 9 laps and we've already got our first DNF of the race. We've had a few incidents. Just going back to the back of the grid where some of these drivers obviously pit in very early for either wing damage or an alternate strategy. And Louis is P17 at the moment. And obviously he may benefit from this safety car. As people are obviously going to be hitting this lap, he's going to jump quite a handful of positions, and he's not on 2 worn soft tyres. Just trying to see where everybody's coming out. We've got DeJonis staying out. We've got Callum Anderson staying out. Who have we got pitting? Oh, Casper staying out on the mediums. Yeah, all these medium runners are definitely going to be staying out. Abby Oden. We've also got the likes of Luke Green in the pit lane. Who else have we got in the pit lane? Brandon Glover. I don't know if he's got damage, but he definitely had a spin. Is he going to stay out? I think he's going to stay out.
So, that was an interesting start to the race, but now we have a little calm period. But interestingly, the front 3 not pitting on the softs. I'm not sure how long they're going 100%, because 100% isn't exactly, your weekly occurrence. We're used to 50% here in PSGL. So this is very different, but Casper and Blizzard, 4th and 5th already. Very good.
Yeah, it's fine, Alfie. Have you got your telemetry on?
I do. I have my telemetry on now. Obviously, it's a bit pointless under the VSC with 100% will be for everyone. Louis has picked for the set of hard tyres, the white walls. Matches the Williams very nicely. Gives a satisfying effect to the user's eye. But he's going to have to catch the safety car pack now, and he's going to be dead last. He's definitely got work to do.
Yeah, just running through the grid, the people who are pitted, we've got Luke Green in P10 who's pitted, we've got Neon who's pitted, CC Brain, Black Phoenix, Jay Carty, Swen the Men, Flying Chrome, Louis, and I believe that's everybody. Yeah, that's everybody who is pitted, and Louis is the only person to go on the hards.
Swen the Men is as well.
So CC Brain, why is he pitted? He's serving a 5-second stop go, which is actually very smart from CC Brain. Get a fresh set of tyres on, get a wing change as well, and he's also got a 5-second stop go that he's had to serve. So very, very positive. Well, very, very negative, unfortunately, for CC, but positive that he's acknowledged his mistake and he's really rectifying that now in the pit lane. It's very smart from CC Brain. But yeah, Luke, he's 10th on a set of mediums. which isn't too bad. He's still got a lot of a lot of people ahead of him who obviously are going to pit in the upcoming laps some of these soft tyres, but he's also got medium runners as well of the same pedigree, so he's really going to be held up now from these guys who are going to go long into the stint.
Yeah, and obviously he has got some of his F2 counterparts in front of him. Well, I think only one actually, in Toxic Tomato, who we know is equal pace, if not a little bit faster than Greeny, so that is going to present a bit of a problem to try and get past. And he also has fast people such as IRL Neon, who's going to be on fresh softs, as well as Black Phoenix, and obviously the main man, ILRT Louis, who even on the hard tyres is probably going to be able to blitz his way through 90% of this grid. But it's how much time is he going to lose behind these 14 or so drivers between himself and CRG Blizzard? It's going to be many seconds a lap, and it's just how much time can he save really from getting his front wing for all this carnage.
Yeah, Dumless has just got a 5-second stop go as the field is getting backed up. A lot of these drivers are a bit too eager to start, but it is being held up extremely by Tejonis, who probably doesn't have the most experience at the front of the pack during a safety car, and it really is showing. But he has gone now, and here we go, the restart of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Are we going to see changes already? Look, AMS is going to go to the inside. Phoenix has covered it off. Is that 2 moves from Phoenix? It is. And look at Toxic Tomato down the inside. It's going to be 3 in a bed. Oh, round the outside, the AMS and Abiodun go. And Phoenix is off the track. He's going to come back on very dangerously, though. And AMS is definitely going to swoop around the outside, surely. Down the straight, yes, Alfie, take us away.
Casper's gone for a move up into P3, and I think he's got it sorted. He has, and Blizzard snuck through as well, so that's crucial for their 2 races. But here, the battle continues. AMS and SSR Phoenix side by side, and Abion's actually just snuck past them, lost as well. And that is SSR Phoenix getting past, but no, oof. AMS tries to come back at him, and now here comes Greeny. That is making moves already on these medium tyres. Sorry. That's 2 moves already after the safety car restart. He's got past Toxic Tomato, who I did point out is probably his hardest challenge to get past. That's very good from Greeny, who's looking brilliant in this race, really on form. He's got him for that championship.
Yeah, AMS tried to go up the inside of that long left-hander and nearly spun the car. AMS driving like a bit of a donkey, it has to be said. Really sticking his car in places where we shouldn't be putting it, which is very unfortunate for AMS. Maybe a bit of rust. He's had a couple of weeks out of F1, F3 wasn't on this week or last week. So maybe had a couple of weeks to recharge and lost a bit of that pedigree. But yeah, putting his car in stupid places, nearly taking himself out of the race. But Luke Green is a man on a mission. I've seen 2 beautiful moves on him and at Toxic Tomato. That is pulled up as Toxic Tomato. Really fights AMS. As AMS lags even more. And now they're humping each other.
They're going through each other there. Here comes Brandon Glover. I'm not sure if AMS is liquidated for everybody or whether it's just a few people. But AMS now tagging Toxic Tomato and running a bit wide. That's going to allow a few people past. ILRT Louis on the move as well. Look at that. He's already made up about 7 positions. But CRG Blizzard is catching to the back of, well, CRG Blizzard and Casper are catching to the back of the wounded seal that is TNR Tejonis. The killer whales are about to strike.
Yeah, as you say, whales in nature and in size, a few of these. Joking, Louis, I love you. Just going back to Luke Green, he is really putting the pressure on SSR Phoenix. This man is driving like I've never seen him before. He is determined to really put his name up in lights. Obviously not been in this race due to his own accomplishments. He had a fantastic season in F2 but just couldn't quite put it in the top 2 for a race champion seat, but he's earned himself the seat due to a wild card, and it's one of the best wild card choices I have ever seen. Luke Green's going to go up the inside of SSR Phoenix. Oh, is he going to make that stick though? He's got the hardest line around the outside, but look at the traction difference, and it's just brilliant. Luke Green, a man possessed in that Red Bull, he is pushing like a madman, and he is definitely going to catch these guys. Even the F1 drivers aren't matching Luke Green's pace at the moment.
One man that is matching and probably bettering Luke Green's pace though is the man on the hard tyres, ILRT Louis, already up into P11. Incredible what drive this man's having, as well as people battling in front. But TNR Tejonis is holding on for another lap. That is good news for Louis, who has time to catch up to his probably main rivals for the win, Casper and Blizzard. But as you said, Luke Green, he looks possessed.
Yeah, Luke Green really put in a fantastic performance. I can't stop saying his name. It's like an addiction. It's like a drug. Give me more, Luke Green. I want to see more driving from yourself. But yeah, just going back to Louis, he's already caught the back of Black Phoenix, considered a very close competitor. Maybe not with the ABS off, which he has struggled with in the latter stages of F2. But he's definitely up there with some of these guys in terms of pace, and Louis is making him look daft. at the moment. He's got DRS already down this straight, but Louis really going to find an uphill mountain now because these drivers are just getting quicker and quicker.
Blizzard, I think, may have just hit the back of Casper, but I don't think he has any damage. But Greeny... Oh, Greeny spun! Oh, that's horrible for Luke Green. He's lost all of his progress, all of it. That's horrible. It's classic Luke Green in a good position, then bottles it. That is Greeny if I've ever seen it before. Horrible, horrible.
A tear came to my eye as I heard the news of Greeny. Oh, Louis spun as well! The two drivers, the commentator's curse at his finest, has spun as well. Louis, on traction on them hard tyres, really can't get them heated up, even though he's setting fantastic lap times and has compromised his race. There is a long way to go, it's only lap 15. But AMS, it has to be said, just stay on board with AMS for a second, because his driving has been ridiculously stupid, and it needs to be highlighted, because I've never seen a man put his car in so many dangerous positions before. He nearly took out Powdy, so, you know, just keep an eye on that Ferrari, because it looks very unstable as the race continues.
This is something else. This race is probably in twists and turns. That's fast, and the track is probably out the drivers. Well, I think we've got a move coming for P1. No. And Casper actually is going to get a move maybe onto Jonas, who makes a mistake into turn one. That's going to be Casper into the lead. Blizzard does really want to get past right now, because I don't think... Actually, no, Casper does have DRS, but here's Abiodun as well, who's going to be connecting himself to the back of these three. But I think Casper can hold on, and that is him dispatching to Jonas back into P2, and now he needs to make a gap between himself and Blizzard and Abiodun. But that is what crazy last 90 seconds we just witnessed there. And Louis already catching back up to some of the drivers he lost out on. In fact, Blizzard's gone from him on to Jonas early. I didn't actually see that coming, and Abiodun's gone for it as well. Incredible.
Yeah, just going further down the field. I'm keeping my eye on this Ferrari. I'm really struggling to keep up with AMS's driving at the moment. The lag is obviously not helping himself as well, but he's really holding up the likes of Neon. Neon tried to go for a move around the outside and obviously got grass on his tyres being forced off by AMS. So Neon really does need to dispatch AMS, who looks really slow here at the Race of Champions.
Yep, and in fact Abiodun might be applying a bit of pressure to Blizzard's way. Here he comes. He's going to look maybe to the inside. No, he's going to go to the outside, the Ferrari driver on the Toro Rosso. And I don't... Oh, there's a bit of contact. But I think Blizzard is going to hold on.
Way down in 17th. Sorry to interrupt. CC has spun, and I don't think he's got damage, but he has a major spin down in 17th.
That is not good, but it is SSR Phoenix coming, attacking Callum Anderson. And I'm assuming AMS is doing some... What's going on? Oh, there is a big battle going on. Black Phoenix getting past Brandon Glover, and here's Greeny redeeming himself. Oh, this is
surely don't put your car
this
around
is going to be a bit
saucy. That's the best thing I've ever seen. Oh, he's on the grass, Luke Green. Coordination ahead of adhesion, I think, for Luke Green. Unfortunately, he's really ringing this Red Bull. He just needs to settle down. There's 17 laps, gone in this race. There's a further 50 odd left, so he just needs to settle himself down and really compose himself in that Red Bull. He's got the pace, but if he starts melting through these tyres, he's going to get nowhere. Yeah,
I think he's seen red. He was in a good position. He's bottled it pretty much off his own accord, and now he doesn't care who gets in his way. He's going to charge his way through this field, but one man who's charging his way through the field is Black Phoenix. He's going to go for a move on Callum Anderson. And with the DRS, he's going to go down the inside of turn one into the centre S's. And they're still going to be side by side, and he's going to get the move done, and he might be able to get a run on SSR Phoenix to promote himself into the top 6. And
yeah, Black Phoenix really doing a fantastic job.
Oh, wow.
Actually,
what a run.
Look at that. Whoa, that's how you do it. Well done, Black Phoenix. Getting it done nice and cleanly on the straights. That is how you
Oh, Neon and AMS, and Neon's nearly spun. AMS is wiggling like a worm. They're all over the place. Louis Welch is getting himself involved now. These drivers probably, got a cold sweat with the likes of Ilati Lou behind them. A big name in the F1 community. Known for a racing line abuser. But he's dispatched of Neon. Now it's his turn to tackle the mighty AMS. The man who many have failed to overtake this race so far. Can big Louis Welch get it done?
Yeah, the lag from AMS seems to stabilise. That's very positive from everybody's accord. Really making it a lot easier to pass this Ferrari.
Abiodun's got past Blizzard.
He just doesn't look stable in that Red Bull. In that Ferrari. He's going to get Louis going to easily dispatch him with DRS, and look at how much ERS Louis got. But yeah, see you later, AMS. As we go back to the front, Alfie, what were you saying about Abiodun?
Abiodun wiggling his way past Blizzard, which I didn't really expect. I thought Blizzard would be able to pull away, but he hasn't. And now he's got to Johnny's breathing down his neck. This is a bit surprising. I thought Blizzard and Casper would, leg it, but they haven't. Abiodun, admittedly, is on the softer compound, but he's keeping with them all right, and he is definitely, putting himself into the limelight with this incredible pace that he's showing. But I think there's calm down at the front.
Just a big shout out to Jonas as well. This is an F5 driver, and he's currently P4, battling with the likes of Blizzard, Casper, Abiodun, and Toxic Tomato, and he's doing a fantastic job out there. Really not put a foot wrong so far. He's led a large majority of this race so far, and he's really, really extending this soft stint as far as he possibly can without physically, burning the gearbox and the tyres to absolute shreds. So big shout out to John. It's a very, very impressive drive from the F5 man. Maybe even warranting a promotion next season.
Yeah, but he's back at it again. Greeny. He's on the back of Brandon Glover and SSR Phoenix, the Alfa Romeo duet. But he hasn't got a very good run through turn 2, so I think it's not going to happen this lap. I'm not really sure who is in an overtaking possibility. CC Brain on Slender Men for P16.
Oh,
but
no, sorry.
Oh my god, Neon and AMS!
AMS giving him no room whatsoever. AMS really, really needs to just get his act together. I'm not just saying it, he needs to calm down a bit. That's a shocking driving. You've got to give people room. He's up the inside, and half of his car is on the freaking grass. It's like my nan with a freaking lawnmower.
IRL Neon did become the most expensive lawnmower for a few seconds there, cutting the grass very nicely. I went on board with that, and he was there giving the molehills a ride. That was incredible.
Yeah, let's hope he doesn't give AMS a good ride, because that was horrific watching that. AMS really does need to book his ideas up a bit. Give some people some room, AMS. I know it's the race of champions, but you don't have to be a bit of a knob about it.
He's not making himself look a champion with this driving standard.
I do agree. As we go back to Brandon Glover and SSR Phoenix, Brandon Glover's going to dispatch his teammate, and Luke Green's going to have a good sniff. Look at the cutback. He's intelligent, this driver, Luke Green. Look at him, really gets the run and the exit out of here. 5th in hot lap now into overtake. Is he going to get the job done? Brandon Glover going to help out his teammate with the slipstream, but look at that. Look, late on the brakes. Luke Green, perfect. Precision, like a hot knife through butter, that man. Filey's finest, dispatching SSR Phoenix.
That was very late on the brakes, yeah. I didn't think he'd be able to do it that well, but IRL Neon has finally dispatched of AMS, and Louis also making his way through the grid. After that little moment he had with Luke Green, he's back into the top 10, and he could see Luke Green just in front of him there. And so Greeny dispatched of one Alfa Romeo. Now he's got one more to go, but it's Brandon Glover, and I'm sure he'll definitely give him a bit more of a fight than SSR Phoenix did.
Yeah, I do agree. Just another big shout out. Jade Carty obviously lost every position under the sun off the grid because he looked disconnected, and he's fighting back, and he's battling the likes of AMS for 14th, and he's not been in this race for a large majority of it, and doing a fantastic job there in P15 on a set of mediums.
Yeah, Greeny's got the move done. And also, I went on board with Blizzard for a second, and he is doing a classic Blizzard. Sat behind Abiodun, could make the overtake. Oh, in fact, no, now he has made the overtake.
Sorry, AMS has just spun. Karma.
Good riddance.
AMS spins, yeah, through turn 3, just hits the back of the Renault. I'll stop talking about him now. I think he's had enough spotlight moments for one race as he's down there in 15th and struggling immensely. And there looks like a big formed battle now for...
Oh, Louis Wells has got damage!
Oh, did you just see that? Just hit the back of the Alfa Romeo. Yeah. That's very un-Louis-like. I think an apology is in order for SSR Phoenix.
Oh no! He's been collected.
Coming to blows as well.
He's been absolutely sledgehammered there. He's been annihilated by Louis and then given a little slap by Paoli on the way past. That's not good from either driver there. But Louis does get the move done, but at a cost of a few tenths a lap. I wonder if he'll pit. I wonder what damage it is. Let's see. Louis is not heading to the pit lane. He's going to try and hang it out on the hard tyres. I imagine he might have maybe been trying to get to the end. I'm not sure. The 100% does throw me off a little bit with the tyres and all that. But Green needs to get a move on now, because look at the gap he has. 2.5 seconds he needs to catch to get up to Black Phoenix.
Yeah, very true, but Luke's really showing outstanding pace, even with them, I imagine, further worn tyres than 13 laps after the spin that he has had. He's definitely heated them rears up. An absolute treat going through turn 3 where he had his moment. But yeah, Louis again having so much potential and so much pace on them hard tyres, but bottling it once again on the back of an Alfa Romeo. So Louis really, really hampering himself. The champion of all champions he wants to be. He wants to be, better than Big C, he says. He wants more titles than Big C. He wants everything and take everything away from the 7-time champion. But when you drive like that, the only thing you're taking away is a runners-up medal.
That is very true. It'll be runners-up medal if he's lucky, I think, Lordy. I don't think he's going to be getting a runners-up medal anytime soon in this race with those sorts of manoeuvres. But the grid's starting to separate a bit now, but the battle is kind of falling to the back, and AMS is on the back of a battle now. Can he do some overtaking? We saw his defending and it was abysmal. In fact, Powdy's going past Lewis. Louis going to pit and he's going to speed, I think. Well, I guess it slowed down just in time. What is he going to go on to? Let's see, the Williams pit crew, known for their swift hands when it comes to pit stops. He's going to go on the mediums. I'm not sure if they can make it to the end of the race, but it's going to be a wing change, which I think might demote him to the back of the grid. But there
we go though. Jay Carter down the straight as Callum Anderson's off the track, and Jay Carter actually hits the back of him. Just going down the straight there. Yeah, I imagine no damage there. But
another one, and he's in the hole.
If you needed a nudge, Callum Anderson, that is what you've been given. A hefty, good old nudge. The number 69 doing a 360-degree spin with no front wing now. I don't know if that's lag or latency or Callum just being a bit slow, because I don't know. Jay really didn't really hit him hard. On
that wasn't a tap. That was a plough. That was something else. Powdy's jumping all over the place.
So, a lot of these drivers obviously from the foreign lands of Ireland and Lithuania and places like this, so, the latency is not always top-notch for some drivers. Jay Carty does have a red bar and has no damage considering how hard he actually hit Callum, so I don't know if there's a bit of lag or latency there.
Powdy's gone.
But Powdy, bites the dust due to poor internet, unfortunately.
Yeah, not good at all. And I'm getting words that maybe, never mind, that story that I've heard is false. I was getting some news through my ear that CRG Blizzard might have had some damage, but it doesn't appear to be. But AMS is on the back of CC Brain, maybe going for a move. I don't think he's going to be close enough though.
AMS, a driver who's looking to redeem himself. Obviously his FP performances has been fantastic, but controversial car choices, I believe that has put him in this position. A lot of drivers would say whether he will relinquish his admin role as FP admin, I'm not too sure, but AMS really needs to prove himself now in the latter stages of this race, because he's not been putting on a glorified show.
No, not at all. Definitely, put a dimmer on his season with this performance here. But CC Brain looks to get moved maybe on Jay Carty. They're catching Poldy, who is in AI. So maybe Jay Carty can have a saving grace in the DRS, but he's overtaken him a bit too soon. So I think he might be a sitting duck, but without any wings. He's not going to be able to fly away. He's going to have to sit there and get trampled. I think that's what's going to happen.
I do agree. The lovely curves of the Interlagos circuit. It's like a woman, Latin, curvy, brilliant to drive and ride on. It's just my ideal woman. This track is brilliant. Just look at all the curves, Alfie. It's so much to explore.
Look at it, the tarmac, very elegant.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers are exploring the Brazilian curves of the Interlagos circuit, as CC Brain does a very nice pass on Jay Carty for P11. So redemption day for CC Brain. He's had a bit of a damper on his F2 season in the latter stages, while his teammate excels. He has been in the shadows. He was an outside contender for the championship in F2 in Mexico, but DNF from that race and was at the back of the grid for a while. So CC Brain really trying to collect his thoughts and gather some momentum as he maintains 11th place.
I don't know if you just popped from your screen, but Domino's had a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Callum Anderson. But they're 8 seconds apart, so I don't know how that's happened.
I'm not too sure. I think your game is very glitched. I'm not getting any sort of notifications. But just going back to the front, Casper not extending this gap to the likes of Blizzard. But Blizzard, look how much ERS he's really pushing with this ERS, and he's got 0 left. So whether that's just Blizzard trying a bit too hard to catch Casper and failing, or whether Casper's just being a bit passive on the throttle. We're not too sure. Lifting and coasting to preserve the medium tyres. But yeah, Casper in prime position to win the race of champions.
AMS giving it a go at attacking on Jay Carty, who's trying to go on the outside of turn 4. I think he might get the move done without killing the driver. Oh, as I say that, they nearly touch tips. But they keep each other's personal space and personal hygiene to themselves. No touching in that battle. It's all clean. But someone else, Abiodun, is actually sticking with Blizzard, which is quite good. And Brandon Glover. Greeny passed me a few laps ago, didn't he? And he hasn't pulled away that much. Brandon Glover sticking with him quite nicely, actually.
Yeah, the slipstream and DRS on this game does pay dividends, as you are sitting behind somebody. If they don't have DRS or slipstream ahead, it can be very simple to just press 3 buttons, ERS to high, and then the DRS button and the accelerator.
So RL Neon, he's gone and he's been reset to the track. He's struggling to get going. A lot of wheel spin on that Renault.
Yeah, really lighting up the rears of them top compound tyres. He's been on them for 17 laps, so really feeling the effects. And yeah, I think the pit lane is the safest place to get that Renault off the track.
Forget 17 laps on the tyres. Look at Abiodun to Jonas. 27 laps on their soft tyres. Very realistic F1. The softest compound doing half the race.
Well, half the race, indeed, Alfie, as we really see alternate strategies galore. We've got people like Sven the Men in 13th doing a very solid job in 13th on the hard compound tyres. Not the fastest tyres out there by any means, but 13th place. As we see yellow flags, who's
gone. I don't know what's happened there, but he nearly hit Greeny. Weaved across the track, I think, to get off the racing line. Nearly did take out the bottler Greeny. But now he's got Brandon.
Contender. Fourth in F2. I think that's what you meant to say. But yeah, Luke Green really finding a second wind here in Brazil. He does need that slipstream and DRS, and he's got a fair way to go before he actually gets it. So a bit unfortunate for Greeny. But Brandon Glover, also another driver, needs to be shouted out. A fantastic job he's doing there in P8. So really sticking with these guys, really performing to the best of his ability.
He's giving Toxic Tomato now, all in his mirrors. He's hounding the back of the beautiful looking pink Force India. Sorry, not Force India, Racing Point. But I don't think he's going to get the move done. Toxic Tomato does seem to have a little bit more pace in him. Abiodun, still 8/10 behind CRG Blizzard. Not letting him go easily. And I reckon we should be seeing Abiodun and Johnson into the pit lane sometime soon. I don't know tyres, but I don't think they can go much longer.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening to Powdy either. Maybe a storm in the Irish Seas affecting the internet connection for that man. Obviously in a faraway land compared to some of these drivers, an unknown land to some of these drivers, and obviously the internet incapable of keeping him in this lobby. But yeah, just another mention as well to Jonas. I know I've been banging on about him further in this race. He's having a bit of a lonely race in fourth position, Bugatti. He's F5. This man
incredible.
Is F5. It is really, really impressive. And I hope the directors are looking at this just to maybe give this man maybe a promotion in terms of pace, because he's been on them sets of softs for 29 laps, and look at how fluid and just smooth this man has been driving. The likes of Black Phoenix has got pace, but isn't really catching him that quickly.
Yeah, forget maybe promotion, maybe promotions for TNR, to be honest, if he can keep this up. But Brandon Glover is actually catching Todd Tomato. But everyone is starting to, we're getting to that point of the race where people are starting to spread out a little bit. Poldy hasn't taken control of his car back. He did join back, didn't he? But he's still ghosting about.
Yeah, he did leave again. The Irish Seas obviously unsettling himself. But yeah, just giving some of these drivers a bit of credit. Some of these lower league drivers who maybe don't have the pace of the upper guys, but really do put on a good show. And like I say, Sven the Men is definitely up there, and SSR Phoenix as well. Finished second in F3 is no small feat by any means, but definitely doesn't have the pedigree, I think, in the overall performance of some of these drivers. He's doing a very solid job in ninth place, so another shout out to that man there.
Louis, he's got his eyes set on Sven the Men, who I think might be about to get relegated. Oh, yeah, I said we'd see them into the pits soon, and clearly I was correct. But Sven the Men, I don't think is going to have much defence from ILRT Louis on the medium tyres. He's going to be a sitting duck.
I think Jonas is actually going to get out ahead of AMS. It's going to be tight, but if he puts his foot down, coming out of the pit lane, make sure he doesn't spin, he should get out ahead of AMS, which is going to put a big damper. An F5 driver has had an entire pit stop over the league director, who's 2 tiers above him. So AMS really being left in the dust here at Brazil. That man needs to get back on the simulator and start perfecting his craft a bit more, because Jonas has made him look silly.
Yep, AMS clearly putting in his forms for a mid-car in FP next season with this performance.
Yeah, really wants to be downgraded to the likes of a Haas or a Renault, or even the likes of a McLaren for next season in FP, really justifying his position in FP. That's the reason he's here, due to his FP performances, which have been very good. So I've got to give a shout out to him for that. You know, his FP performances have been very solid. You know, you don't get into this league without putting in good performances. Whatever league you do manage to get yourself in, but unfortunately he's been made silly by the likes of, to be honest.
The Scuderia doing Abiodun's service, but where's he going to come out in comparison? He was ahead of Jonas, and I think that's going to stay the same. He might actually get out of the CC Brain.
Yeah, I think Phoenix is going to get him. That's crucial for Abiodun's race, because he's going to be under pressure with them cold tyres. So CC Brain might have a nibble at Abiodun. Obviously, another driver who entered due to his FP performances. There was a title battle in the final round of the Mexican Grand Prix between himself and AMS, but Abiodun really showed his pedigree in that race, even though AMS had a very good car. So Abiodun really putting in solid performances in FP to warrant his Race of Champions appearance, and he's in P8 after having a pit stop. So, you know, Abiodun really putting in a solid performance, proving a lot of haters wrong who doubted him. But CC Brain's definitely going to have a nibble down this straight, and let's see if SSR Phoenix, the F3 second place runner-up, can hold him behind.
Oh, CC Brain getting a bit loose there on the final corner's exit, but I was just looking on board with Toxic Tomato, who's caught up to the back of Greeny. Abiodun flying with that Ferrari-powered engine past the other Ferrari-powered car in the Alfa Romeo, but I don't think CC is going to be close enough to make a move. And neither was Toxic Tomato, who actually might be close enough to make a move into turn 4. He's coming out down the inside of Greeny into turn 4, and I think he might get the move done here. He has. Greeny demoted down to P5, and Toxic Tomato promoted back up to P4, where he was before he made that mistake, I believe.
Yeah, these two have been sort of the class above the rest, apart from their mistakes. You know, Toxic Tomato's had 2 spins, and nearly 3, as he goes through there, locking under braking, and really, you know, spinning the car through there on these warm medium tyres. You know, Greeny has a lot fresher tyres than Toxic Tomato, but Toxic Tomato is still finding the pace out of them. So Greeny, you know, overheating them due to the spins, really costing him the time, and I think he's feeling the effects now.
Yeah, those tyres definitely not in, you know, prime condition. They're a bit horn. No, I don't even know what they are anymore. They're just a bit messy, aren't they? They've spun.
Yeah,
They've locked up.
Be careful.
They
champions here up. And so we're going to see SSR Phoenix get taken by CZ Brain on the straight. Just to, you know, pass the microphone to myself for a minute while you compose yourself. SSR Phoenix obviously doing a fantastic job. Just letting CZ Brain pass, probably just to farm the slipstream and some more ERS, even though he does have a bunch at 71%.
Yeah, I've calmed myself down a little bit now. My mind isn't wandering. But Greeny, as I was trying to say, his tyres are a bit messy. Had a few adventures, but he's not losing time too much. Dr. Tomorrow, obviously the DRS and the slipstream is going to be in his aid, but still, the fact he's on nearly 10 lap younger tyres and still isn't faster than him is quite shocking, to be honest, considering Greeny's pace at the start of this race. But I think the person to look for now, I think, is Abiodun, who is flying on these brand new mediums, the yellow wall tyres, the third colour of the Ferrari, I think some people would say. Red, black and yellow. Might just be me. That's what I'd say. But he's catching Brandon at probably, I think, over a second a lap. We'll see what Brandon set. Brandon this lap sets a 1 minute 12.1. What does Abiodun set? He comes across the line and it's a 11.4, so nearly a second a lap, which is impressive around the short circuit light into Lagos. Very good.
Yeah, very impressive. We're going to watch Louis recovering from not 1 but 2 spins in this race to get past the director the man at the top of the food chain, AMS, who's still lagging and still cutting corners as he nearly spins going through the centre S's. That man's on roller skates as he goes through this track. Down there in P12, where people would look and think that's respectable, but I think people behind him have pit and do have some more pace as we see Swen the Men under pressure from Flying Fro. Obviously a massive tyre compound difference, and Frome should get the move done and dispatch Swen the Men, but no, Swen the Men coming back at him. The F6 driver's got some spunk as he's really trying to show Flying Frome, the elderly gentleman, that he's there and he wants more of this man, but no, decides otherwise, and Swen will happily sit behind the Mercedes and maybe farm him for a couple of laps just to keep the ERS and the rev counter low as he really rings the throttle going through this middle sector.
Yeah, but Greeny on the back of Toxic Tomato again. 3/10 is the gap. And I'm not sure, but I have not seen any penalties pop up on my screen. And I don't need to doubt the quality of the drivers, but I'm sure some people must have 3 seconds by now.
Yeah, I won't spoil the viewers with any of the penalties. I do like to keep it, the shock factor when people cross the line. But yeah, there has been a handful, just to say the least.
I'm not getting any.
Yeah, whatever's happening to your game, I'm not
but
too sure.
It adds to the spectacle.
Yeah, I guess so. The surprise factor, as I said, when they cross the line, not knowing whether these drivers are going to finish, just checking as well how many stops people have made. You've got the likes of Casper and Blizzard who haven't yet pitted. We've got Black Phoenix who has made one. Dr. Tomato who hasn't yet pitted either. Luke Green has obviously made one stop under the safety car. Brandon Glover has not made a pit stop yet. We've got Avi Odin who's made his first stop a couple of laps ago. CC Brain has made 2, so very good recovery from CC. We've also got SSR Phoenix who hasn't stopped yet, and we've got the likes of Louis who's made 3 Bugatti and is still in 11.
That is incredible. Obviously 2 of his pit stops came after incidents, and another one was at the start of the race. So Louis had a very dirty race so far, been involved in it. But still, P11 and with the fastest lap of the race. I mean, not the fastest lap of the race really matters in this, but I'm sure it's something that he can put on his wall.
Yeah, I do agree. He'd love to stick it on his wall and impress his dad. His dad's probably yelling at him to get off it at this current moment in time. But just having a look at position changes as well, as the saying goes, cream always rises to the top, and that is the case, unfortunately, for the Race of Champions this evening. The only driver that is yet... Oh, it's his yellow flags. As Swen the Men as
retired in the
DNF.
pits.
Oh, Swen the Men had enough, maybe a mechanical failure for Swen the Men, the wheel not working, or maybe he's just too tired and his arms have given way, we're not too sure. They're doing a solid job out there and shouldn't knock himself too hard. He did put in a very good performance. CC Brains also left as well.
It's picking up the drama. It's all happening at once. But CC Brain, this is devastating. Obviously the German internet couldn't contain the excitement of the Race of Champions. And now he's going to drop like a rock.
Yeah, and to Jonas, and allow to Jonas to catch the back of Phoenix, who's
Greeny
hasn't pitted yet. And Greeny and Cameron going side by side once again as to Jonas gets past CC. And that's when the man leaves the session. Yeah, I'm not too sure if it's people's internet or whether it's just the lobby playing up, because obviously you've got Powdy, who's disconnected. You've got Jay Carter, you did disconnect initially.
We have AMS's, whatever that is called.
Yeah, AMS's.
We just have AMS. We have AMS.
The route is half in, half out. I'm not too sure what's going on.
He's in this lobby, but not really in this lobby.
Yeah, just here for the sightseeing aspect of the circuit, I think. And CC Brain does rejoin, only loses 2 positions, but loses a handful of time. I imagine about 5-6 seconds of that man's lost on track, which is very unfortunate. The redemption drive, as I was saying earlier, as Louis gets past CC as well, which he's not going to enjoy seeing.
No, but it might actually be a good thing for CC that Louis got past, because I think Louis would have got past anyway. But he really does want to rejump before AMS gets past, because that could cause trouble. But I think he has 7.5 seconds to play with, or 7 seconds now, and he should get his car back pretty soon. And yep, there he is. He's back. And Greening's actually, look at that, making a plough to get out the 1 second DRS zone of Toxic Tomato, and he's nearly done it. But I think Tejonis just got past Phoenix on those new-ish medium tyres, and Louis is actually too far behind, only 2.5 seconds. So I reckon in a few laps we could see Louis on the back of Phoenix. But apart from that, not too much going on in the race at the moment. I expect maybe to see the medium runners start to pit at some point with 23 laps still to go, or 22 laps now once Casper crosses the line. That's definitely within the range that the softs can go, because we did see Abiodun and Tejonis go, I think, about 29 to 30 laps on the softs, and that was with higher fuel loads. There was a safety car there, which would have aided the tyre wear a little bit. But yep, I was right. We are seeing the medium pits now, and it's the guy in second place, CRG Blizzard, who's going to pit and get served by the Scuderia Toro Rosso. And he's going to go on to the softs.
More people pitting as well. Brandon Glover also in the pit lane. But just a word on Codemasters. They're doing a fantastic job with improving the game. It's been one of the best games.
Hold on, Abiodun and Blizzard might be close.
Oh, they are going to be close. I don't think Abby's going to have a nibble this lap. Maybe next. But Abiodun's got no ERS. He needs to start saving it for the attack that he's going to commence on Blizzard. But Blizzard might pull away because he is on a set of soft tyres, which is unfortunate for Abiodun. But yeah, just going back to what I was saying, Codemasters, done a very good job of actually improving the game in a lot of elements. Obviously, I think the slipstream ERS system is very silly. I think a lot of drivers would agree with me. A bit too difficult to manage and maintain. Obviously, the slipstream is way too overpowered. You never see this in real life. And the DRS also. But another thing just to touch on as well, maybe for the next game, refrain from one-stop strategies in 100% races. It's pretty ridiculous that you can take a set of softs. How many laps people have been going on?
30 laps.
Plus?
Yep.
Yeah, 30 plus laps on a set of softs, and then the rest on mediums. Yeah, a bit ridiculous from Codemasters there. I really do think they need to actually watch real-life racing to get a good indication. Well, yeah, no, very solid improvements from the game. Anyway, so it won't be too hard on them.
Yep, as we see another medium run up pit, it's Toxic Tomorrow, and he actually has a 5-second stop go, so that's not going to help his charge for maybe a podium. But where's he going to come out? He's being held. No, that was a bit of a glitch there. He's going to come out. I don't think he'll be in the top 10, as we see the other Alfa Romeo of Phoenix and also AMS pit as well from their medium stints. As Toxic Tomorrow arrive inside the Force India Racing Point garage. I'm not sure what's going on there, but now I'm back on board with Toxic Tomorrow, who comes out in P10 ahead of Flying Front and behind Brandon Glover, who pit last lap actually, so he's got some catching to do.
Yeah, he does. Another driver who really not finding his feet in this race is Flying Front. I do believe he had an incident at the start of the race that really hampered his progress, and obviously being an F4 driver and really not coming to grips with the actual potential he can produce in that Mercedes of his at the moment. But he's been quite solid. He's been, CC's actually crashed. So what's happened to CC?
No, he's actually retired. Pits.
No, he's not. He's not. He's out on track.
Why is he retired? He's manually retired?
I'm not too sure why he's manually retired. There was a glitch with, I do believe, who was it? Tom. In F2 at Hungary, where his controller disconnected and it automatically retired him. So CC may be falling victim to the same thing. Not too sure how that works. Maybe his wheels disconnected. I don't believe CC is on wheels, so maybe his wheels disconnected and just shut off his game completely. But yeah, very, very detrimental to CC's race, and obviously, unfortunately, he's out.
Yeah, one thing I think we do need to keep an eye out for though, Lordy, is CRG Blizzard doing the undercut on Casper. The gap 20 seconds, I'm not 100% sure. It's actually, speaking of that, Casper's pitting now. I'm not too sure how long a pit's pit around here, but I would assume it would be about 20 seconds. It obviously is quite a long pit exit. But let's go on board with Casper to see how quick he can switch his tyres. And it looks good from the Williams crew. And we have the normal glitch. But I think he might come out in the lead quite comfortably by the looks of things.
He did have, I think, plus 5 seconds on Blizzard, so he should be fine. We're going to get a nice broadcast camera just to see where the Williams... No, he's not actually that far ahead. So Blizzard doing the undercut has really, really paid off. Look how much time he's gained. He's nearly within 1 second. He nearly loses it on the exit there, coming into turn 4. Just be a bit careful there, Blizzard. If you want to win this race, you really need to put your foot down, but not too much, mate. But yeah, very, very nice from Blizzard. Really doing the undercut to put Casper under pressure, and whether these tyres will heat up exponentially, we'll have to wait and see. As Toxic Tomato actually gets past Brandon Glover at the end of the first DRS straight.
Yep. And someone who's kind of come out of nowhere is Louis, who's up to P4, and I believe he can go to the end. We have seen people do 40 plus laps on the medium, so yeah, we have less than 20 laps to go, so I reckon he can comfortably go to the end on these medium tyres, and it's just whether a case of if he can catch Abiodun or not and get the podium position. Abiodun is 7.5 seconds ahead, but which is quite a comfortable lead. And
we do have more than 20 laps to go, by the way.
Do we? Oh.
Yeah, we're only on lap 44.
Yeah, sorry, I'll do A-level maths showing it.
Well, this is what I mean. GCSEs mean nothing. Just Skype, you'll be fine. No, I'm joking. But no, Louis really going to have to bring out the life out of these medium tyres. Obviously, he's got the life to Jonas behind him, who's actually keeping in tandem with him. But obviously, you've got the soft runners of Luke Green, Toxic Tomato, and Black Phoenix hunting to Jonas down. So Jonas will have a fair hold fight on his hands in the later stages of this race. He is going to be coming under pressure from these guys. We're doing a very stellar job nonetheless.
Yeah, and also I don't think we can count out Brandon Glover just yet. Only half a second behind Toxic Tomato, and if he can stick to the back of him and get pulled along, then he could definitely find himself in a shock battle for maybe top 5. But Black Phoenix right up behind Jonas, who is on the slower medium compound and older tyres, and I don't think he's really going to have much of a defence. He might be able to defend this, like, the gap is pretty substantial at 5/10, but maybe coming into turn 4 he might not have an answer for the Toro Rosso driver. Let's see though, as we surpass 210 mile an hour, incredible speeds, and he's going to get the move done into turn 1. Yep, he is. Great move there from Black Phoenix, nice and clean, showing AMS how to do it. And Cantor John's come back. I don't think he's going to be able to. No, he's not. So now it's Greeny's turn, as we see flying from Pit. Probably going to crack his bones. Make sure they're all still working. He's going to go into another set of softs. So did he? He must have started on the medium tyres, I assume.
Yeah, I do believe he did. He had multiple pit stops though. If I just check the stops, yeah, it is actually Frome's third stop. Obviously having damage earlier in the race, and I think pitting under the safety car later on has really hampered him. Obviously, these drivers don't have, very, very little experience in these sorts of conditions. 100% races are only saved for the race of champions. Normally, there is some odd exceptions, but it is normally the race of champions that hosts 100% race. These 50%ers, obviously, so much less endurance needed through these 50%ers. One stop and done, really. One pump chumps a lot of these guys are. But
Greeny's getting the move done.
Greeny, like some Greeny, maybe can have 2 pumps as he's going to have a hard battle on his hands with Jonas. Jonas might actually come back at him here. He's not got a lot of fuel, and he's not. Oh, he's actually going to turn CRS down. So Jonas really playing quite sensible. I think he knows that he's not going to be helping himself by battling Greeny, so trying to get the best possible position for himself.
Yeah, and I think all the drivers do deserve, some recollection for. I'm actually surprised we saw 17 going. Great commitment. Normally, if you was to do 100%, I reckon you get less than 10 finishes. But the 17 still going is incredible to show the commitment of these PSGL drivers and how much, they actually do put into PSGL and they want to win. Even the likes of Powdy, who I don't even think is in the lobby at this. No, he's not in the lobby. We'll ignore him. Callum Anderson, who's last. He's obviously not going to win at this point unless there's some magic, some wizard watching over the Interlagos circuit who just zaps everyone's tyres to Narnia. But yeah, he's still going on, still pushing as hard as he would be if he was fighting for the lead. So brilliant to see from everyone.
Yeah, you've got to have that little bit of faith when it comes to league racing, especially if you're in the mid tiers or lower echelons of the leagues. You've got to have that certain hope or spark that you are going to do well. And a race win isn't necessarily the people's goals in these races. It's like real F1. A lot of these drivers, especially in the race of champions, would be satisfied with a 12th place and would see that as a victory personally. An own personal goal for themselves. And I think Jonas will be taking home a nice big bottle of bubbly after tonight. I don't know how old he is. I hope he can have a bottle of bubbly because he definitely deserves it if he stays in this place. I think he will lose a couple of positions by the end, doing obviously the most common strategy of soft to medium, but obviously the softs are coming into their own. at the end of the race with the lighter fuel loads. So yeah, doing a stellar job. I think he will get top 10, which is definitely a win in my book. It would be for me, and he's lower in the divisions than I am. So yeah, very well done, Giants.
Yeah, I think the prime example of a winning not being drivers' main goals is Matt Romano, the Romano effect. He didn't really ever try and win. He didn't even try and battle people. He just drove, and he was happy with that. And it was all very personal league racing. It's very personal experience. No two, people's careers are the same. I'm sure no one has the exact same career as you, Lordy.
No, I think people forget actually how good my career's been.
Oh yeah.
What are you trying to say? My career's been
just,
very good.
the self-promotion.
Yeah, I've got to promote myself. Nobody else is going to do it for me. A a title under my belt. A winner. As we see yellow flags in sector 3, I'm not too sure who that is. I think it's
Neon spun again at the final corner, and he's getting some more wheel spin, giving the fans some smoke.
Yeah, giving the fans some smoke, giving the fans some fan service. As Casper actually laps a few of these guys. Yeah, just going back to me for a second. My achievements have actually been quite great. I've done more than 100 races in Formula F1, as also known today, and I've actually scored 24 podiums out of 100 races. So yeah, that's a very good record.
That's 23 more than me.
Exactly. So when the likes of people like yourself perk up, I think you need to shut up. I'm actually better. So yeah.
Times have changed since 2013 or whenever you got your dominant era. Times are a lot difficult now.
Was the best chance, battling the likes of the 7-time champion for a title opportunity, and ended up finishing 3rd in a 2-horse race.
Back when our current champion would have been a prime 10 years old.
Yeah, very true. A lot of these drivers of the younger generation, the Fortnite lovers, the TikTok filmers, all these sorts of people really coming into their own in PSGL. And, definitely not like my time. I'm only 20. I've just recently turned 20, so not a boomer yet.
So, not quite flying chrome levels.
Oh yeah, flying chrome is definitely on the Richter scale for one of the oldest members in PSGL. Like Mr. Grumpy, he really shares that, the Olympic torch with old members of the community. But that's what we share here. We have young, old, very, very old people, and they enjoy it. First and foremost, this league.
Abby Odom pits. Highlighting Louis. Abby Odom retires.
Abby Odom's out.
Louis pits as well. Abby Odom, what's he doing? Why is he retired?
Very, very strange scenes. Abby Odom, one of the leading cars in this race, is actually retired.
What is he doing?
And Louis pitted as well. So
he's going for softs. We're going to see. I think this is the man to watch for the rest of this race.
I'm not too sure about that. He's down. Look where he is now.
But he's going to be flying.
But look how much time he's going to make up. I don't know what he's trying to gain. He's just giving the likes of Greeny 4th position. So
as we see Abby Odom's carcass come back out onto the track to pull over.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there. He was in a good position. And he could have easily gone to the end. Maybe, T was calling.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers obviously having T very late on. Even though Race of Champions is on at this time. So yellow flag sector 2. I think it's just Abby Odom's car going round, so nothing to worry about there. But yeah, just going back to the fundamentals, a lot of people do forget this is fun. It's meant to be fun. The fundamentals of this is fun, and a lot of people do get caught up in the competitiveness, which is great. I love people who are competitive and want to put their heart and soul into PSGL. But first and foremost, we're supposed to get on. We're supposed to be a nice community, and I think a lot of banter needs to be toned down a bit from a certain few people. But yeah, apart from that, enjoy yourself, because that's what we're here to do.
Exactly. I think 2020 is looking, or the 2020s is looking to be a golden decade for PSGL. With the likes of Big C, we'll be hitting 30 years old this decade. That is shocking.
Yeah, luckily for me, it'll be next decade, and I'll be hitting 30 years old. Only just, but definitely the next decade for me, so I've got this decade of my prime to enjoy.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, PSGL is going to be a part of my prime, at least in the near future.
The 2010, dominant figures are fading into non-existency now. Big C, relevancy is dropping.
Sorry, Toxic Tomatoes just had a massive moment behind Luke Green, and he was 4/10 of seconds behind him, and I don't know how he's kept that car in a straight line. The Racing Point really pushing hard and definitely does have the pace over Luke. Obviously, competitors in F2 really showing their dominance in the top 5 at the moment, but Toxic Tomatoes definitely has the edge, but really struggling for traction through that sharp left-hander.
Yep, Brandon Glover making a move on Tierno to Jonas, who is slowly, dropping down the order. Obviously, that retirement from Abiodun does help to Jonas. Gains him a position that he would have lost anyway. Well, I think Abiodun was already in front of him, wasn't he? He was in about P3, I think. That actually gives Black Phoenix a podium.
Yeah, Black Phoenix. We haven't really spoke a lot about him. I do like to talk about him in the F2 streams. He is one of the standout highlight drivers of the F2 grid, and I do talk about him a lot. He's had a fair few podiums to his name, but seem to have dropped off ever since he turned ABS off, but doing a fantastic job. Only 13 seconds off second place Blizzard, who is considered one of the millennial greats of the PSGL site at the moment. So as we see yellow flag in sector 1 as Flying Foam gets past AMS, because AMS has binned it at the centre resters.
And that is, what we like to see from the veterans like AMS. Shows that nobody, or everybody, is prone to mistakes, and nobody is safe from the wrath of the Codemasters Formula 1 games. If they want you to die, you will die. But Toxic Tomato on Greeny is closing back up.
I do agree. To be honest, really trying to stick with Brandon Glover as well. But as you said, Toxic Tomato is the man to watch. I don't think he'll get it done down this straight. He's really holding out to pass Luke Green. He should have done it a couple of laps ago, but obviously made that mistake. But then again, Black Phoenix is in sight as well. So Black Phoenix is actually caught up to the likes of Blizzard. I'm not too sure. I think Blizzard's made a mistake. But Black Phoenix has made a mistake also, because Green is catching Black Phoenix. So it is a battle for the podium positions.
Yeah, the man on the move that I want to see catch is Ilati Louis. My Ilati counterpart.
I don't think he's going to pull. I don't think he's going to pull this time out. I think he should have stayed out and gone to the end. He's not going to pull this time back. He could have had a podium. He was P4. And he was ahead of all these guys. And now he's pitting on these softs. Yeah, he's looking very mighty, as Louis always does say in Metro Tyres. Is that a
in
DNF
the pits,
or is that?
It was in the pits. Yeah. But here comes Toxic Tomato. Can he maybe get a run on Greeny? He's gaining. There's green flags, there's yellow flags. I don't think the move can be made. So AMS might have saved Greeny here.
Yeah, I do agree. I think that's not very good from AMS. I think you should stick it out to the end. It was in 12th position, which is very respectable. A lot of these drivers would crave a 12th position, or even a chance to drive in the Race of Champions. And I think to retire like that in the pit lane is a bit embarrassing. So rubbish from AMS.
A very exclusive club is the Race of Champions. Only 2 or 3 drivers from each division getting in, and obviously with 20 drivers per division, that's about a ratio of 1/10 or 1 to 10. Getting in. That's not very many people, with the over 150 sign-ups that PSGL does get each season. 20, not a lot at all.
And when there's uncommitted people like that man not finishing races, I think, why throw him in the towel? Just keep going. It's the Race of Champions. You may not be in the position you want to be in, but some drivers would crave to be in your position. A lot of people haven't had the chance to race in the Race of Champions, or deserve the chance to race in the Race of Champions. But then when you do something like that, I think it does need to be highlighted.
Especially from an admin.
And a director.
And a director, even worse. You need to show an example to the youth of the F1 community. There might be a Max Verstappen, sucking a dummy right now, but in 5 years' time, he could be winning the F1 championship. We don't know. We don't know what the future holds for PSGL, but it's exciting.
Yeah, it sounds exciting. I don't know why you're thinking of Max Verstappen sucking things, but that is you all over, isn't it, Alfie? As we carry on with the racing, Toxic Tomato is catching the back of Black Phoenix, and Luke Green I think he's actually played this very smart. He's let Toxic Tomato go so he can farm Toxic Tomato's ERS and DRS and also Slipstream, and they are catching Black Phoenix, who looks like he's struggling the most out of this trio of cars. So it's going to be a Grand Slam final in the last 10 or so laps, 15 if I'm counting properly. But it's going to be a Grand Slam finish between these 3 drivers, all in F2. So this may be personal.
Yeah, this will be very personal. A lot of pride on the line. between these three drivers, and only 2 seconds separating them all. They're all going to congeal. The word coming out again towards the end of this race. But with 70 plus laps of this race in total, surely some of these drivers got their penalties. Obviously, I don't know any penalties because none of them have been popping up at all. So it's like a murder mystery. You know, it's like sitting down and watching Silent Witness with your family, not knowing who's done the murder until the final moments.
Yeah,
There's McLaren off the track. Dumb loss. Giving the grass a shave.
Yeah, lovely trim there in the middle sector as he watches the cars sticking together like Gorilla Glue through the middle sector. And we've got the likes of Brandon Glover. Look how close he is to this battle as well.
He's dropped off. He was about 1.5 seconds behind, and now he's 6. He hasn't got the pace. Brandon Glover is, you know, going like a glove, not very quickly.
Oh god, that's from Mr. Fox, that is. Going like a glove, not very quickly. As Dumless retires from the race, as Brandon Glover is trying his utmost hardest to really reduce the gap between the guys ahead. He was going very smoothly, but seems to have a moment in the middle section that's cost him a bit of time. Now 6 seconds adrift from the likes of Greeny, who is sticking with Dr. Tomato at the moment, but Dr. Tomato has the eye on the prize, and the prize at the moment is his colleague and competitor Black Phoenix, who he was fighting for the title with in Formula 2. So they're not just fighting for a title, they're fighting for a Race of Champions podium, which is one of the most prestigious awards on the site. If we were still on the PSGL forum, you'd get a little PSGL trophy next to your name just for this accomplishment. Yeah. Constructors, Race of Champions podiums, you get a little trophy next to your name to really, symbolise the accomplishments that you have gained. And unfortunately for Luke Green, I don't think he's going to be joining this bandwagon because he's dropping like a stone in a pond on these guys. Now Dr. Tomato's got Slipstream and DRS, he's just not on the same level as these guys. You know, he's really shafting. The CNRS is trying to keep with these guys, but he's got no ERS or nothing left. They're really detrimental. But Black Phoenix has been gifted some DRS from the likes of ghosted people. Oh, and they're not ghosted, they're just lapped. Callum Anderson's actually got off. Callum Anderson P13's actually going to bin it, I think. No, he's kept it on the track. Right.
Yeah, we have a question in the chat from ILRC Little F1. Who's been your best performance so? That question doesn't make grammar sense.
But am I kickstarting it, or do you wanna say first? Glickle's question. And by that response, I'll go first. I think for me, it has to be to Jonas. Jonas has been the outstanding performer in this race so far. He's really put in a good shift. I've said it numerous times before during the race, F5 pedigree on the tag, but really outshining himself. He's 3 seconds off IRL team Louis. Just put that into perspective for a second. This F5 driver has put in the best shift of his career, done a very good job, and he's only 3 seconds off. The man is supposed to be winning everything. So, yeah, and Louis spun! Louis in the wall! Oh, Louis! He's P7! And just as I was on board with him, he's binned it again! Oh, that man has been the biggest bottle I've ever seen. I'm not too sure what's happened to Alfie. I hope the stream is still going and everything's fine. I haven't been able to hear from him, but I'm going to carry on speaking as it is, as Louis actually bites the dust, unfortunately. And oh dear, it promotes to Jonas even further up the fields. Fantastic performance from Jonas. So yeah, I was just saying, like a driver of the day so far, and I do believe he will finish the race. Has to go to Jonas. Brilliant. And I think Brandon Glover close second place in that regard. Not too far off the front runners.
Sorry, I had a bit of a mare with the mic.
Yeah, it's absolutely fine. Louis binned it.
Yeah, I could hear you. I was watching everything. It's just my lack of communication for a second there. But Toxic Tomorrow on the back of Black Phoenix actually is being good. But I'll answer Edward's question finally. I think my performance has to go to Casper. Probably the overshadowed of the F1 drivers. people were looking at Blizzard and Louis to win, and obviously with Louis' recent bowl, and Blizzard nearly 12 seconds behind. It's incredible from Casper, really, to have that sort of pace out of pretty much nowhere. Obviously, getting second in F1 is no easy feat. I mean, I couldn't do it. I had to drop down to F2 because I'd given up with beating the likes of them three. But doing this in the Race of Champions, the most prestigious race of the F1 PSGL calendar, or just the PSGL calendar in general, is incredible. And to go from, he started 19th, didn't he? Up 18 positions as well. That's brilliant. But Toxic Tomato on the back of Black Phoenix. I think this might be a switch for the podium positions with only 10 laps to go.
Yeah, I do agree. A bit of weaving going on. I think a lack of traction from these drivers. Obviously, don't battle too hard, or you're going to allow the Red Bull to start catching back up as well. So very smart from these two. I don't know if they're communicating in the party just to get that done nice and easy. Oh, Black Phoenix has lost in mid-corner. Oh, Black Phoenix, he's lost an absolute huge amount of time. And I did say you've got to keep it clean, or it's going to have the man, the myth, the legend, Lucas Greenus on your bum crack.
Lucas Greenus.
Lucas Greenus all over Black Phoenix's bum crack, and it's all over for Black Phoenix. I think the podium has slipped away. Toxic Tomato has the pace, and I don't think he'll be making any more silly mistakes as he has during the race. And it's been fantastic performance from all three of these F2 drivers, it has to be said. Obviously, Luke Green and Tomato making the worst and most severe mistakes in the race, but they've still come back and they're fighting for a podium. We'll see how the race progresses, but I do think Toxic Tomato has it in the bag if he can just keep it in a straight line.
Yeah, but obviously everyone is prone to mistakes. I like Louis, making the biggest mistake of them all. So it's not over till the fat lady sung, and she sung to Louis Welch, and he binned it, and he's out of the Race of Champions. But she's keeping her mouth shut for now. She's keeping the harmonica in her pocket, and Luke Green right on the back of Black Phoenix. But I was just on board in there for the centre S's, and he wasn't looking, smooth. He kind of looked like, a fish through, I don't know, gravy.
Wherever your mind takes you, Alfie, wherever your mind takes you. Fish in gravy, normally it's dead, and in my belly, if it's got gravy on it, I don't think I've ever seen fish and gravy as a combination. But yeah, just a quick moment, or a quick word on Louis. I think we've got to highlight it. Obviously, he's had a lot of hype throughout the season and throughout this game. He's had a lot of good words spoke about Louis. He's one of the quickest drivers I've ever seen. He's an octopus. He's got fingers like, Buddha's got arms. He's got so many of them. He can just put them in the right place at the right time. But just really, really disappointing from Louis. Like, really, really horrendous performance, it has to be said. He's a close friend of mine. I do love him, but I've got to be honest. And really trash performance from that man. I think he will be very disappointed in himself.
Yeah, I think I have to, back up every word you just said there. For it's not even just that one mistake. Crashed into the back of who was it? I can't remember who it was, but smashed into the back of someone. Yeah, just a lack of concentration on Louis Welch's eyes. But I'm on board with Green, and he does seem to be corner cutting a lot. Obviously, I'm not getting any corner cutting penalties popping up on the screen, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's got them stacking up now. And maybe Brandon Glover could be sniffing at a top 5.
Yeah, true. Brandon Glover, as I mentioned before, was one of the drivers of the session. Him and Tejonis really, really showing their talents. And like I said, I hope the directors are watching. I know Big C is keeping a nice VDI on proceedings tonight, so we will be looking at these performances and maybe altering a few position slots due to outstanding performances tonight. But yeah, Luke Green, obviously I've seen the penalties from a few drivers, and let's say there's been another handful appearing on my screen from drivers who don't exactly make it not obvious. But unfortunately for Luke, he's just not got that extra tenth in him, and if it weren't for Slipstream DRS, he wouldn't be battling these guys. So I hope he can challenge, but I think Toxic Tomato's got it in the bag.
Yeah, obviously, and Casper continuing to extend that gap. It's like a slinky, when Blizzard was right up close to Casper, it was like the slinky had congealed, but now it's expanded, and the grid is separating them a little bit. Only 24 seconds separating the top 3. But from there and below, in fact, we have a move. Callum Anderson getting past the IRL Neon for P11. It's not a point, but every position matters. Pride. It's pride. It's about pride, isn't it, Lordy?
Yeah, it does. Every position does matter. And, you know, Callum really showing that he's got a lot of fire in that stomach of his, unlike the drivers below him. You know, just think of it this way. These two drivers will be beating ILRT Louis. Just think for that. Process that in your brain for a minute. You know, these drivers are beating him on track and will beat him in the standings in the Race of Champions. So, you know, when we talk about how abysmal Louis' performance has been, I think that really sums it up.
Yeah, getting outshone by the likes of Powdy's AI. It is, you know, a disgrace that this man is, you know, your PSGL F1 champion.
Yeah, there's a lot of credit needs to be given to Louis for his accomplishments in the F1 league, but he could be so much more. He could be the king of the castle. He could be the emperor of the palace. He could be the controller of the universe in F1
He could be
terms.
PSGL.
He could be the new Big C. You know, he has been titled the new Big C. He has been titled one of the greatest ever drivers we have ever seen, ever, on this side. But, you know, when you're doing performances like this in the Race of Champions, where, you know, the likes of Casper and Blizzard are there, whether Blizzard is performing at his best, I'm not too sure, because Casper's just been an absolute machine. But, you know, when these drivers are up there and they've started in similar positions, it does make you wonder, is Louis, you know, capable of much more?
I know, it's going to cast, you know, a big shadow. Louis does cast a big shadow over most things, but this race is going to cast a big shadow over Louis' season as it is in general. Because I don't think, has he ever won a PSGL Race of Champions? I'm not sure.
No, I don't think he has. I'm not. No, Iran has. If that helps.
I know. I think, did Abbey Odom win it last year?
I do.
Or last season?
So
yeah,
just
Louis.
in the memory, I might have to check my facts before speaking out of turn. But yeah, unfortunately for Louis, he's not going to be winning it tonight.
So he has one more attempt on this game, I believe. We do have one more season to come on this game, which is going to be starting in probably a few weeks.
Yeah, we'll be starting in a few weeks. Obviously, 23 drivers across the board. I believe, obviously, there is 6 leagues that you can participate in. There has been a discontinued Saturday league where people wanted another Sunday. So we've got F6, which will be on Thursday nights at 8 PM. We've also got the 3 Sunday leagues, which I'll be participating in the middle one, good old F4. Obviously, we don't know about anybody else. I only know personally because I'm very, you know, close to the director.
Intimate.
So he's already given... I wouldn't say intimate. Get cosy now and then, maybe a cuddle here and there, but not too invested in that department. But yeah, very close to the director, so I know my personal position. But yeah, join us on Thursday for F6, and then Sunday at 8 PM. We've got 3 leagues. It's the first time I believe we've had 3 Sunday leagues on at once. But it was at people's request, and they were also at 8 PM. We've got F5, F4, and F3. And then obviously the Monday night specials, the F2, which you'll be joined by myself. I couldn't get any better, could it? You know, F2 with me again for another season. I can see the smile on your faces already. It's beaming like sunshine. Fantastic. And then you've got Owen Wyatt with F1, unfortunately. At 8 PM. I'm joking. Love you, Owen. But yeah, you'll join him at 8 PM and you'll join me at 7 PM on Monday if you want to catch F2 and F1 in respective.
Yeah, and also don't forget FP on a Wednesday. A Tuesday, Tuesday. Yeah. I am in that league. And,
yeah, we both are in that league. I'm not sure who's commentating it, but we both are in that FP league.
And also, currently going on, we have the Formula Classic, which concludes this Wednesday at 8 PM. That's probably what I was getting confused with. And yeah, the final round of that, obviously only 2 rounds. A nice little mini championship to see out the break. And I'm winning that at the minute, so if you want to see me win the championship, maybe tune in on Wednesday. So,
yeah,
you might see that.
We've got ideas coming out of the ears, out of the factory. You know, me, myself, Alfie, and Lickle, obviously creating this championship. Me, myself, and Lickle. Alfie, me, myself, and I. Alfie, myself, and Lickle. Really, you know, churning out the ideas. We had an idea for an F2 championship with the F2
didn't gain
cars.
traction. But
Yeah, it
we
didn't
can
gain
try
traction,
again.
unfortunately. But there's a load of ideas coming out of the factory.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, this Formula Championship was mainly mine and Lickles. Alfie, you did have a bit of input there as well.
I'm going to disagree with that.
You can disagree all you like. Your opinion doesn't matter.
Wow.
But yeah, obviously these guys really putting in some good ideas in that hat. And if you've got any ideas, you can either contact, you know, the directors or an admin, or even myself. I don't mind. I'll happily forward it on to the likes
Don't
of
contact me, though. I'll ignore you.
Yeah. Alfie's too busy with his life, as he says. You know, the gym. I believe you've been hitting the gym, Alfie.
Yep, 3-hour sessions every day. Pumping iron.
Pumping something. I don't think it's iron. Anyway, we've got 3 laps.
Greeny, corner cutting everywhere.
Greeny's lost the plot, unfortunately, without spoiling it, but he's lost the plot.
Yeah, I can see.
And he's out of the running, I think, for 12th place. And I think he's under attack from Brandon Glover, who I think is going to be taking an awfully fit if he carries on the way he's going. But Neon and Callum, I think, they're about to keep our eyes on, because these two are still going at it.
Yep, and Greeny doing that Austria from this season, you know, looking in a good position, and then just crumbles. You know, he's like a building getting demolished. You know, it's stable and structured 1 minute, and then there's a little bit of a puff of smoke, and then it just crumbles, and it's no more. That is Greeny.
But it's like the PSGL hierarchy, it just crumbles after a bit.
Exactly. When will the next, you know, revolution take place?
Rise up, rise up. Get your signatures, rise up against the power.
Get your flaming pitchforks out.
But yeah, just the best battle on track has to go to Neon and Callum. Really putting on a spectacle. Obviously not for a final point, but definitely for pride. These two really going hammer and tongs around the inaugural Indianapolis, but yeah, Interlagos circuit here in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Obviously, there was actually rumours that it's in Sao Paulo, isn't it? Not Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah,
sorry,
this
I was going to say.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's happening with it, to be honest.
Yeah. A lot of people obviously want the track to stay. It's very, you know, historical. The likes of it, and some, you know, corn is named after him, for God's sake.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were thinking of moving it to Rio de Janeiro.
It's confirmed.
Is it confirmed?
Yeah, I think
they'll be moving it.
I'm not sure if it's for this year or next year, but I think it is. I saw something about the mayor or the president of Brazil or something like that has confirmed there's going to be a track built in Sao Paulo, especially for F1.
Yeah.
And I think this might be demolished to build some more favelas.
Yeah, I do agree. I hope this track isn't demolished. I hope it does stay on the calendar in future events.
In fact, Greeny...
Is Greeny going to have a jab?
I don't know, he's, you know, Tyson Fury versus Wilder.
Oh, you're going to have to go on the leader, Alfie, because it's the final lap. Just saying, he's coming around the final corner.
No, bloody hell, we've missed that. But it's Casper, yeah, he's coming out the final corner to end. The 100% race has flown by. Time flies when you're having fun. But it's going to be Casper who's having fun this season. And he's going to be the race of champion. He wiggles across the line, gives that Williams a nice rear, rips his wheel across the line, and he is the champion of the world. What a man, what a drive. Dominated. Started 19th, and it's going to be CRG Blizzard, who has been upshown tonight by Casper. Brilliant drive from Casper, that is incredible. We haven't really talked about it much because he's been so dominant, but it's going to be CRG Blizzard who gets second, and I don't think he'll be happy with that one. He will definitely be disappointed. It's going to be Toxic tomorrow, who comes home for an unlikely but incredible P3, a podium position. But what are the penalties going to have to say about it? But I think it's misses out. Greeny definitely doesn't get it. And that is going to be your provisional top 5, but what can Brandon Glover do? Greeny definitely had a few corner cuts in there. Can Brandon Glover snatch the top 5 off Greeny? No, he can't. Miss out by 6 seconds. Leonardo Jonis is F5 driver. Going to get P7. Incredible.
Yeah, my driver of the day for sure. That's brilliant from Jonis.
Definitely.
Yeah, didn't get lapped and finished P7 against these guys. That is a round of applause. That's a race win in my book for that man right there. Really, really brilliant stuff. Obviously, SSR Phoenix and Brandon Glover do take a close second place between them two, respectively, for a brilliant performance as well. But your champion of the world has to go to Casper. Fantastic from that man in the Williams. He's dominated the race from start to finish, carved through the field like a hot knife through butter, and really showed his class, even against his rivals like IRL2 Louis, who bit the dust earlier on in the race, and the likes of Blizzard and Abiodun, who unfortunately misses out as well. But yeah, that's your man right there in the rocket jumpsuit. Brilliant from Casper. It has been an absolute spectacle to watch. Michael Schumacher in his prime. You can't say much less than that. Casper has been brilliant, and congratulations on the Champion of Champions victory. Commiserations to Blizzard, but well done, very well done for a second place. And obviously, Toxic Tomato is going to be very happy with himself. I can imagine his smug smile right now. He's going to be beaming with sunshine as that man's finished third ahead of his rivals, Luke Green and Black Phoenix, who also are in F2. And Brandon Glover, no penalties as well. So I'm just going to give him a bit of a clap for that. So fantastic. No penalties for Brandon Glover.
Incredible.
And was very, very close of finishing in the top 5.
Yeah.
So very, very well done.
Great. I'm not sure, do we do interviews?
If you want to interview Casper, I think he's the only man really to interview.
Yeah, we'll see if he wants to join. I'm not sure who I have added. The problem, yeah. Let's see if PSGL Greeny, wants a chitter chatter. Brandon Glover, there you go. He's on my friends list. We'll invite him. Greeny. Who else is in this lobby and also on my friends list and appearing online? Nah, we'll get them two in. Both, kind of. Yeah, well, I'll what's his PSN? -F1. Yeah, got it. Yeah, right. So people are invited. And let's see if anyone wants to join yet. Save the best till last. That's what I'll do on my Sunday roast. Then we do have some drivers. Yeah. So let's see who wants to join to get belittled.
Great.
How was the stream?
Stream's good. You giving us some entertainment by doing some donuts on track.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So let's see who else wants to join. Let's slow down. Let's wait till the questions.
Invite Cameron as well. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get the whole grid in here.
Right, we'll hear from a moment from Luke Green, who we do have in the commentary box at the moment, who will let Alfie take away, but just another shout out to the guys who did actually finish the race. So congratulations on finishing 100% in Race of Champions. It is an honour, as always, to be a part of it, and it has been fantastic to watch. But yeah, take it away. Alfie.
And also I'll quickly say, it did look clean, except for AMS, but well done to everyone on the, gentlemanly driving. I think that's the best way to put it. Nice and respectful. Don't want to damage each other's carbon fibre cockpit.
Get to the questions.
Right, Greeny. Hello. So,
Hello.
clearly, you were backed by a few people to be maybe a dark horse starting up there, and you did have very good pace at the start, and then you had a defining blow. What happened? How did you spin?
Well, Callum Anderson, for some reason, just decided to keep his nose on the inside when he was less than halfway alongside. Obviously, that caused a spin, and then after that, obviously, it's quite hard to catch up to everyone. But I had one warning until lap 58, and then ended up with 2 penalties at the end.
Yeah, I was on board with you, and I did see, a few times you were exploring the terrain of the Interlagos circuit. What happened? Did you, crumble mentally? Are you not up to 100% race? Do you not have the, physique?
No, just obviously when you get in the rhythm, you're fine. And then obviously lap 58, the second warning came, and that was it from there. And then I think I got the second penalty on the second last lap or something, or third last lap. So that really cost me a bit. It was very, very fun. A lot of good racing. Obviously, shame it was a safety car at the start because I think I was beginning to run away with it a bit.
Awesome confidence words there from Greeny. Lordy, do you have anything to say to the mighty Greeny LFC?
Yeah, just a bit of a praise going on at the start, Greeny. You did a very good job of controlling the race from your position. You had a very good place early on in the race after the pit stop. Sorry, you had fresh tyres and you were ninth compared to everybody else. It all looked good until the spin, but just further down the race, you seemed to struggle with the likes of Cameron and Black Phoenix at the end. Do you think that you had the raw pace to get past them both, or did you think you just didn't quite have that cutting edge to get the podium?
I think obviously without the warnings, the podium was definitely there. But I have to say, well done to Cameron because he was absolutely flying throughout that final stint. And he was quicker than me in the middle stint as well when he was on his old medium. So I think the best driver really out of the three of us got the podium. I think Black Phoenix did pretty well, but I think I'm a bit annoyed that I didn't get him. I think I drove a bit better than him, but yeah, good for F2 that we got third, fourth, and fifth, and obviously CC was unlucky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do have to agree. You did all put in a good shift and represented my league very well.
But, yeah, it was good my league.
No, good to see the likes of F2 really, showing their pedigree. Obviously, we'll come back to you at the end as well. Just want to move on to Cameron. Alfie, do you have any questions for Cameron, or do you want me to start things off?
You can start. I'm not sure if people can hear you when I'm on my home screen, but there's been. Yeah, but Casper said I needed to add him before. I've only just gone on it now, so they would have heard you, Greenie. But I needed to add Casper to my friends list to get him in the party, apparently. So, because obviously, hold on. I'm just inviting him. We need to get the race winner in here. The man of the moment. There we go. All right, carry on.
Good. Right, we'll move on to Cameron, third place finisher in a race of champions. Congratulations first and foremost, brilliant drive from yourself. But just describe how you feel emotionally right now.
I'm quite happy, but it wasn't the best of races. Spun at the start and had a little half spin for the middle stint, which put me behind Greenie. But it was quite a good race.
Yeah, very, very nice, very docile for you. You're normally quite hyped and amped up, but it is a long 100% race, so I'll let you off. Another question for myself is, how did you feel on the medium stint? Because you controlled the medium tyres very well, compared to Greenie, who pitted 10 laps younger tyres. He had 10 laps younger and pitted a lot later than you. You controlled it brilliantly. So how did the mediums feel during the race? Did they go off, or okay?
No, they held on quite well actually, but towards the end, around about lap 35, they started to really go off, and I went off and spun, and yeah, that's when they started. Well, that's when I needed to pit, and thankfully they held up that long.
Yeah, well, like I said before, congratulations on the third place. We may come back to you at the end. Alfred, do you have any questions for Cameron?
Yeah, what does, obviously most people are used to doing 50% races or 25% races if you're doing a special event. What does a 100% race, do to the body? Do you start to get fatigued or anything towards the end? Do you have to, really focus hard?
Not really much change apart from my thumbs. Started to ache a bit at the end.
Oh, we got more people joining now. I think we've overflowed the party a little bit.
Yeah, we'll move on. We'll need to wrap this up as quickly as possible. Yeah.
So
we'll move on
quickly.
So, congratulations, Brandon. You were one of my drivers of the day. Fantastic performance. It was P6 in the end, wasn't it? Nearly top 5. Brilliant drive from yourself. Just quick words before we move on to the champion of champions, Casper. But yeah, how did you feel out there with the 100% race? Did it weigh on you at all? Was there a lot of pressure, more pressure, or were you okay with the occasion?
Well, actually,
well, at the start...
Whoa, we have two people talking!
Brandon. Question for Brandon, sorry.
Well, at the start, it was a bit chaotic, so I was just trying to keep it nice and clean. I didn't want to get wing damage or anything. I was just not really battling too hard, because it was a long race, but then after about halfway, it was just no one around me. It was a bit boring. I just had to try and be consistent, really, and not get any pens or anything. So I think I did good with the 100% race, yeah.
Yeah, Alfie, you have any further questions for Brandon before we move on?
No, I think it's best we just move on to the man in the moment. Well done to everyone else on a brilliant show and a brilliant race, but it's, the man of the moment. Casper 24-F1, the champion of champions, the champion of the world, the champion of PSGL. How does it feel to, be the man, the myth, the legend, Casper 24-F1?
Yeah, it feels good. Nothing more to say really. It feels good. Had a good race. Consistency was really good. Like every lap was within a tenth of each other. So I'm really happy.
That's very nice to know that you're sucking it up. What obviously not much really happened in your race, to be honest. What was your plan coming into this? Was it about getting to the front as quickly as possible and leaving Blizzard behind, or was there a different game plan?
Yeah, my plan at the start was to get ahead of Blizzard and stay ahead of Louis, which I managed to do. So from there onwards, I just wanted to make my way through the field as quickly as possible, and then make a gap to Blizzard, which worked. I broke DRS, and then I was just able to put away.
Yeah, and obviously, I think a question that maybe some people don't want to hear, but it's relevant. Do you feel a bit underwhelmed by other people's performances? Louis, we expected him to, put on a good charge, and Blizzard maybe to be closer to you, but none of them. They were both a bit awful, to be honest. Do you feel a bit, sad that there wasn't a battle?
Yeah, obviously a battle would have been really nice, especially in a 100% race, because it's very long. But yeah, I was still having fun out on track, even though there were not so many battles around me.
Yeah, well, I get all of my congratulations, and I'll pass over to Lordy if he has any questions.
Yeah, just a few questions for yourself. Obviously, congratulations, the champion of champions, champion of the world. Casper doesn't get much better than this. Just going back to what Alfie said about Blizzard and Louis, I think Blizzard actually did have a very strong race, but nothing can compare to you. You seem one of the most modest and nicest champions we've ever had. But what's the plans for the future? Do you carry on league racing? Is there anything above this you want to achieve, or is this the pinnacle for yourself?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I want to continue league racing. I also qualified for the pro draft, so that is my main focus. Coming 2 months, and I'm also going to stay in PSGL, so hopefully I can maybe win the title next season.
Well, that's an even better answer than I expect. Good luck with that, and congratulations on tonight. Obviously, me and Alfie have sat through thick and thin, seen people spin, seen people's thrills and smiles and people's anger and frustration. It's been a pleasure to watch all of you, so congratulations to all three who are remaining in the party, and also congratulations to Jonas, who finished 7th place for an F5 driver and didn't get lapped. So really, really well done to Jonas, my driver of the day today. Close second, Brandon Glover, and then Casper, you'll get third for a fantastic performance. But yeah, Alfie, do you want to sign us off? Because that's it.
So this does conclude this season on PSGL, except for the one tiny little event this Wednesday. But this was the last main event, and it was definitely worth the wait, worth the hard season we've all been through. And guess what? It starts again in a few weeks to do it all over again. And I'm sure everyone here in PSGL cannot wait for the show to get back on the road. But until then, we're gonna have to leave you and love you. And the next few weeks going to be a bit boring without us, but try not to get too sad. So we'll see you then, and goodbye.
See you in a bit.